Good evening, everybody. We are in downtown Miami tonight, and tonight we're going to be talking about the broad-based stock market sell-off. Actually, indices were quite surprisingly higher, broad-based across the board, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 all higher throughout the day, but right towards power hour, which usually starts right around 3 o'clock going into the close, all the major indices reversed lower, and there was a broad-based sell-off in the market today, with the NASDAQ cutting its 200-day moving average, moving into correction territory. Another piece of interesting news, headline in the Wall Street Journal today, is that California fire risks lead insurers to pull costly policies from costly homes in California. So we're going to talk about that. Why are insurance companies reneging on their policies and not renewing their policies to existing homeowners in California? We'll talk about that and more on the stream. Hey, Vinny Castellano, what is going on? Good to see you. I see Felix in the chat. Welcome, everybody. It's going to be a short stream tonight, only about an hour. Sally says hello. Sunshine after rain says hi, Tom. Ramos says hello from Brazil. Teresa says hi, Tom. Hope you had a good day. New Jersey Water Drain says hey. Joey says how are you? I'm doing good, Joey. Sally is here. Lady O says good evening, Tom. Vinny Castellano says, did you watch Biden's speech last night? Oof, I did not. I'm gonna have to get caught up on that though. So I apologize, everybody. We do not have the microphone today. It's almost the end of the week. Friday tomorrow. It is a very cold and blustery 68 degrees Fahrenheit here in downtown Miami. Marilyn is checking in from New York City. Good to see you. Out and About is here from Toronto, Canada. Good to see you out and about, as always. Hope everybody's doing well on this Thursday night. Hey, Seven says, good evening, Tom. Are those rain clouds? So it was supposed to rain today in Miami, but it only rained for about an hour. And where I was in North Beach, it actually didn't really rain at all. It was just sprinkling on and off. But besides that, it wasn't too bad today, honestly. Sunshine after rain, good to see you. Lena is here. Ruby Falcone says hi, Tom, and all mods. Lady O says, wow, very cloudy. It is a very cloudy night and a windy night. You guys can see the Metro Mover going by here. So it was definitely a very volatile day on Wall Street. For the vast majority of the day, stocks were actually higher. Indices were higher across the board. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, the NASDAQ, and the S&P were higher. But right around the middle of the day, we reversed lower. And indices actually sold off quite hard, with the NASDAQ cutting through its long-term 200-day moving average. Hey, Zilch says, hey, Tom and everybody. Zilchy here. What is up? Audi 1996 is here. Matthew P. What is going on? Dante Rose says, hope everything is good with you, Tom. Thank you, Dante. Good to see you. War Walker says, Tom, your audio went out. What did you say? Yeah, we may have a little bit of an audio issue tonight because I forgot to bring the mic. So we do not have a microphone, but we'll just have to make do. Tanya S says, hey, Tom and everybody. Hey, Tanya. So we are here on Northeast 11th Street. Sarah G says, hi, Tom. What's up, Sarah G? And we are right at the bottom of 1000 Museum. War Walker says, American Airlines lost over $1 billion. Yeah, I think airlines as well as the cruise lines are really not going to have too good of a go about it, to be honest. Zilch says, Tom, any basketball games tonight? I don't think so. So the Miami Heat played yesterday. If you guys joined the stream yesterday, you saw everybody coming out of the building. I think the Miami Heat won too. Is that right? I think the Heat won. War Walker says, terrible day for the airlines. Yeah, so did anybody else read about all of the the flight cancellations due to the 5G rollout. I think there was there was literally hundreds of flights that were canceled due to the 5G rollout. So this is 1000 Museum right here. Hey, Marty Lewis is here. Good to see you, Marty Lewis. Hey, Terry P says, I am a new subscriber. What's up, Terry? Thank you for joining. And we're very happy to have you here. Hey, Michael says, market feels oversold. Good to see you, Michael. Yes, so Michael, I put my 2 price targets out, one of which for the S&P 500, the other for the NASDAQ. I put my 2 price targets there in the Behind the Street newsletter. Let's check out the Paramount building tonight. War Walker says, wait till next weekend. Lady O says, yeah, cancellations were far more widespread than I expected. Yeah, so Lady O, on Saturday, I'm flying back to New York. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I hope my flight doesn't get delayed. I've been watching like a hawk, and I really hope it doesn't get canceled. So I'm flying out of Miami International Airport right around 10 a.m. So, I mean, we'll see. You know, I'm flying JetBlue. Usually JetBlue doesn't have too many problems with cancellations. The only airlines that I've been seeing with a lot of cancellations were like Delta, American Airlines had a bunch of them, and a lot of the international airlines too. Hey, what's up, Ken? Ken Kramer's joining us. Is Buy the Dips. What's up, Ken Kramer? Good to see you. Shadow Ship, good to see you. Pamela is here, says hi. How are you, Pamela? I kind of like the outside of this apartment building too. $481 says, this is New York calling. What's up with DeSantis? I'm not too sure. Probably not too much. Just hanging out. What's going on in New York, everybody? I see Otto here. Says hi, Tom. What's up, Otto? Says good evening, everybody. QBiz, as always. What's going on? Helen says the best has already begun. What is up, Helen? Sally says beautiful view. Good to see you, Otto. So, everybody, I was reading an interesting article today in the Wall Street Journal. And this is what the headline says. It says, California fire risks lead insurers to pull costly home policies. And it's funny because we were just talking about this in relation to Florida. Because in Southern Florida especially, it's very, very difficult to get a home insurance policy, a homeowner's policy. Mainly just because a lot of private insurance companies will not write these policies on these homes for the obvious reason of the risk, right? Because there's so many hurricanes here that it's potentially not even profitable to write these policies. But there's a multifaceted problem that's going on in California right now with the insurance companies. So the article was essentially stating that there's a lot of multi-million-dollar homes right now that are covered by AIG and, you know, you name it, Farmers, whatever type of insurance policy they have or they're covered by. But there's going to be a lot of emails sent out to existing people that own these homes and these homeowner policies that states we will not be renewing your policy due to the increased risk of wildfires. But not only that, but if we dig deep into the fine print, when these insurance companies in California run their risk models, the number one thing that they like to take into consideration is future potential risk, right? So a lot of these insurance companies will consult with a lot of meteorologists, scientists, environmental scientists to run models that'll tell them, you know, forecast risk for climate change, for droughts, for potential wildfires. But in the state of California, insurance companies are not allowed by law to adjust their premiums or their risk profile based on future forecasts. They're only allowed to adjust their risk policy based on previous data of wildfires and natural disasters and things like that. But as we know, as the climate changes, as there's more fires, risk can change. So a lot of these insurance companies are just saying, hey, we're out. We're not even going to write or renew these policies. So this is going to be a big issue if you're a homeowner in the state of California. It could leave thousands of people uninsured. 481 says, can they do that? Yeah, they can. It's a big problem. Sarah G says, certain construction materials have almost doubled since last year. You're right. Yeah, the price of lumber, originally it corrected a little bit. We had a little bit of a price break in lumber, but it rallied right back to all-time record highs. So you're right about that. So we are right outside of the FTX arena. And this is Northeast 8th Street. Yes, Sarah G says metals as well. Michael says short Peloton. Well, I think Peloton is down about, 90%? Hey, Dallas is here. What's up, Dallas? Good to see you, my friend. 481. So if my house burns down in Florida, they will be billed. Will they be billed it? 481. Could you rephrase your question? But I think what you're getting at is, this is a new policy that's going on in California, right? And unfortunately, in very desirable places on Earth where people want to live, unfortunately, it's very prone to, either hurricane risk or, in this case in California, wildfires, earthquakes, and things like that. So a lot of existing homeowner insurance policies are not going to be renewed. The insurance companies are saying, look, the risk is too great. It's not worth it for us to renew the policy. Hey, Bernard Friedman says, it's still raining here in Fort Lauderdale. Good evening, Bernard. Good to see you. Peter Webley says, fires in California are mostly from arson, homeless camps, and faulty power lines, says Peter. Yeah, I think you're right. And probably also from the severe droughts too, Peter, don't you think? I mean, if everything is so dry, one little, cigarette butt, anything could really spark these fires. Hey, Christina, this is ATF Stadium where the Miami Heat play. The Greyhound Terminal is where the Miami Heat Stadium was back in 1993. Yeah, so this is FTX Arena. So I don't think it was American Airlines Arena, but now it is called FTX Arena, which is a cryptocurrency trading platform. I see Melee is here. For the Love of God is here. Good evening, For the Love of God. Cosmo Scary, what up, Cosmo? Good to see you. The ABX girl Cosmo says, good evening, Tom. Walked by water today, feeling that cold wind. Wishing I was in Miami. Yeah, I mean, Cosmo, not for nothing, it's actually kind of cold here too. It's right around 68 degrees. It was raining a little bit earlier in the day. But obviously nothing like New York. But Cosmo, I'm flying back to New York on Saturday. Hopefully the flight doesn't get canceled. I've been reading about literally hundreds of flights are being canceled as we speak for numerous reasons. Number one, a lot of the flight attendants and pilots are unfortunately getting COVID, so they have to quarantine, and there's literally no people to work. That's number one. And number two, there's been a lot of cancellations for the 5G rollout, which has been another real big issue. Hey, Tony Cortez is here. What's up, Tony? Good to see you. Cosmo Scary says, wow, 68 degrees. My room is 64. Whew. Jared Covey, what's up? Joey says, my flight from Boston to Philly got canceled earlier today. Oh my God. See, Joe, you're scaring me now because I have a meeting, a very important meeting on Monday in New York. So that's why originally I was going to fly into New York City on Monday morning. But I'm like, you know what? Everything is too crazy. So I'm gonna plan my flight for Saturday. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Santo A says, hey Tom, Netflix down 100 points after hours. Good to see you, Santo A. Yeah, we had a big broad-based sell-off in the stock market today. At market open, indices were actually all higher, right? And that is very indicative of bear market and correction behavior. When you have indices open positive and then sell off throughout the day, that's very indicative into bear market behavior. Bull market behavior is when stocks gap down on the open and rally hard into the close. So hopefully we retrace to about 14,100 on the NASDAQ. But the NASDAQ closed below its 200-day moving average today. Hey, Penelope says, hi Tom, I think I just missed some important info on the home insurance. I just went through the ringer on getting my deceased father's home insured. Gotta sell it ASAP. Ooh, Penelope, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that, Penelope. Joey says, good thinking for booking it on Saturday. Yeah, so Penelope, as we deal, not to get the chat all riled up, but as we deal with more harsher climate and, I would just say climate change overall, as well as, increased natural disasters like wildfires, earthquakes, tsunamis, and things like that, the insurance companies are going to have a very hard time justifying issuing these homeowners insurance policies. And that's exactly what you saw in Southern Florida. So many of the homes that are insured here in Southern Florida are pretty much all government-sponsored insurance companies, right? So what we're seeing in parts of California is that due to all of these wildfires, which has been really egregious, there are subsegments of multi-million-dollar homes in California that all of their homeowners insurance policies are going to be reneged on and not renewed. And there's a two-faceted reason for this. Number one, obviously, the risk of the wildfires is insane. And number two, the rules and regulations in the state of California require, and this is a requirement, they require, hold on, let me just see if I can get around this. They require the risk modeling for these insurance companies to be done based upon previous data, not forward-looking models. So a lot of the times these insurance companies will hire scientists, geologists, meteorologists, and the like to build them forecasting models based upon the specific geographic locations where they're insuring these homes. But in the state of California, you're not allowed to base your insurance premiums off of future forecasting models, only on previous data. Hey, Sarah G, this is always great vibes here, Tom and chat. Good to see you, Sarah G. So there's a really big risk right now that you could see thousands of homeowners in California that own multi-million-dollar homes going without any sort of homeowners insurance. So it's a really big debacle I was reading about today in the paper. But I think you're going to see the same thing happening in places like Florida and places like New York, anywhere that's prone to natural disaster. Vinny Castellano says, do you have any sleeper stocks you're watching? Not really, Vinny. I mean, really the only stocks that I pay attention to, especially during corrections, are stocks that have extremely strong earnings power, right? Earnings stability is key, especially during a broad-based market sell-off. But one of the main things that I look for, especially going into correction, you want to look for the stocks that are going down the least, right? So right now we are in a correction of the NASDAQ. The S&P 500 is about a couple points away from a correction. And this is called relative strength. You want to see what are the stocks that are holding up better than all of the other ones. So for example, if Peloton is down 60% and Microsoft is down, let's say 7%, well, that means big institutional investors are selling Microsoft less than Peloton. So usually when the market begins to turn around again, the stocks that are holding up better during a bear market are usually the new leaders in the new bull market. Hey, Jamil's here. What's up, Jamil? RL says Perma Bears. What's up, RL? Good to see you. We are coming up on Northeast 2nd Street here. Hey, Mike Simmons says CrowdStrike is holding up pretty good. Yeah, so those are the stocks, Mike Simmons, that I cover a lot. So like the enterprise software, mainly geared towards cybersecurity. So another stock in that particular group would be Zscaler. So Zscaler and CrowdStrike make cybersecurity software that lives in the cloud. So it's made for and built in the cloud. So those are two great companies. Hey, Fresh Start says, hey Tom, good to see you. Good to see you too, man. Hope you're having a very positive Thursday. Stephanie's here, says hi. What's up, Stephanie? Here, I'll show you guys the Bayside Ferris wheel in the distance. Dallas says, hey Tom, how's Miami? Miami's doing pretty good. Miami's doing pretty good. It was relatively cold this past week, and I think tomorrow's even going to be colder than today. Natasha says, hey Tom, hope you're doing well. You too, Natasha. Good to see you. Devon Avery says, good evening. What's tonight's topic of discussion? So Devon Avery, we were talking about the insurance companies pulling out of California. I think it's important, especially when we're in a single family housing boom, for people to be aware of insurance policies, who are writing these policies, and be aware if you're planning on moving into specific areas that are prone to natural disaster, because it may be very, very difficult for you to get an insurance policy on your home. Bernard says, you think the stock market is going to crash? I don't think it's going to crash, but I think it's going to peel off probably about 15%. If you want to know my exact targets, Bernard, feel free to take a look at the Behind the Street newsletter that I emailed to everybody. Mr. Nate says, hey, what's up, Nate? Daryl says, good evening, Tom, from Chicago, Illinois. Love Chicago. R2D2 says, Tom, always interesting, thanks. Good to see you, R2D2. So everybody, I think this is, I'm trying to look at across the street. I'm not sure what airline that is. But there's always a specific airline where all the flight attendants dress up in that specific outfit. I'm just trying to figure out what it is. And I apologize for the wind noise. We don't have the mic tonight. Fresh Start says, Tom, what stores are you near? Well, there's not too many retail stores here, Fresh Start, because this is downtown Miami. It's mainly a lot of offices. Here we have the Metro Mover. Michael says, buy the dip. We always usually have internet outages right when we walk onto the Metro Mover. You're right, the Emirates, the United Arab Emirates, the Emirates airline, you're right. Hey, Alicia says, love your channel. It's becoming part of my relaxing nightly routine after the kiddos go to sleep. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. So this is the Intercontinental Hotel over there. Terry P says, Tom, it's -9 here, and we still have 2 feet of snow on the ground. Oh my God. That is one reason I love watching your Miami streams. It looks so bright and colored and warm. Wow, I don't know if I could deal with 2 feet of snow. God bless you. Hopefully you're staying warm. Penelope, yes, get well soon. Please get well soon, Penelope. So I'm not sure if Marty Lewis is in the chat. I think I saw Marty Lewis in the chat. But I think your heater is out at your apartment. You definitely got to get that fixed, especially in the frigid New York City. Hey, Robert Stevens III is here. What is up? We are here standing outside US Biscayne Boulevard, US 1. Marty Lewis is here. Marty, I just wanted to tell you, I hope you get the heater fixed in your apartment ASAP. It's supposed to be freezing, and if you use a space heater in the meantime, please keep all objects away from the space heater. Please be safe. Hey, Samantha J says, greetings, Tom and everybody. What's up, Samantha? Good to see you. War Walker, very possible. Yeah, Death says, Tom, Netflix dropped 100 points after hours. Yeah, we were just talking about that. I think we're seeing PE compression, so we're continuing this trend of multiple compression. And this is the City National Bank building here in Miami. Hey, More to Life says, hey Tom, I know you have said it in your live feed, but can you tell me again how I could get to your newsletter? So if you type !news, N-E-W-S, in the chat, the Nightbot will drop the link to the Behind the Street newsletter, in which case you just punch in your email and it'll send you the Behind the Street newsletter. But make sure you check your spam folder, because a lot of the times it's been going to people's spam folders. Oh, here's the Metro Mover, check it out. Very futuristic looking, this thing. Kind of like it. Hey, Robert West says, hey, Tom. Try to cross the street. Very windy. So the Brickell district is this way. This is one of my favorite buildings. Check this out. And then if you look down 2nd Street, you see it right here. Hey, R2D2 says, so cool. What's going on? Fresh start? Yes, I agree with you, fresh start. Jamie Massetti says, are you using a different mic? No, Jamie, we're actually not using any mic. I forgot my mic. I left it at home. Fresh start. I don't know about the buffering. I think it's more buffering in Miami. Little Blondie says, hey, Tom, Miami seems so quiet tonight. How's the weather? We were supposed to get a little bit of a storm tonight in Miami, but now it's just windy, and I think I'm feeling the rain just a tad bit. So maybe we're going to get a little bit of a drizzle on the stream. But I did bring the umbrella, which is good. As we come up here to the Southeast Financial Center. Mighty Bull, what's going on, Mighty Bull? Hey, Terry P says the architecture in Miami is awesome. Stephanie says Miami looks like Lower Manhattan. Well, we're coming up to the financial district in Miami, which is, it's very similar. It's kind of similar to Lower Manhattan. I agree. Hey, British Gray is here from Tampa, Florida. Welcome, British Gray. So tomorrow I probably have the busiest day of the week. I literally have a back-to-back conference call all the way into like 7 o'clock at night. Hey, Chris says, Tom, do you think that the SPY, the S&P 500, will bounce off the 200-day moving average? I don't think so, because the NASDAQ just broke its 200-day moving average on very heavy volume tonight. So I think the NASDAQ is headed for 14,100. And I think we're going to be in a correction continuously from Q1 and Q2, and then maybe Q3 and Q4 it'll pick up again. That's what the data tells us. Because this is a midterm election year. Midterm elections, usually Q1, Q2 in a midterm election year, equities prices are suppressed. If not down altogether. But if they're not down, you know, they're usually flat across the board. So I think this car is a Bentley, I believe. Hey, for the love of God, says every city needs to visit Miami to learn how to keep the sidewalks clean. I agree with that. Miami is definitely a very, very clean city. Yeah, Marty Lewis is similar except for the palm trees. Agreed. Bernard says this is why people bring mics. Yep, so Bernard, we forgot the mic tonight. So we're just gonna have to live with the wind noise, unfortunately. More to Life says, thanks for the link, Tom. I just signed up. So More to Life, if you go to the website, you'll be able to read all of the archived Behind the Street newsletters. They are all archived for you, so you could read them anytime you'd like. And I believe this is a G-Wagon here. This is an interesting car, but a lot of these are in Miami. So speaking of cars, we are actually right outside of the Aston Martin building here in downtown Miami. Lane says, what are you doing on Friday? So tomorrow is going to be just an unbelievable hectic day. I have pretty much back-to-back conference calls from about 8 o'clock in the morning straight up through way past 6 o'clock at night. So tomorrow is going to be absolutely exhausting. And I have to get together a lot of pitch decks. Fresh Start says, Tom, how far away are you from Miami International Airport? Probably about 10 miles. Disciple 481, I'm using a stabilizer. Jamie Massetti says, Tom, thank you for the streams. Thank you. War Walker, you the man. I appreciate you very much. This is Novico here. So this is the brand new Aston Martin building, and it's supposed to look absolutely unbelievable when it's finished. So if you guys want to Google it, Google Aston Martin building in downtown Miami, and you could actually see some of the model apartments there, and they look unbelievable. And this is the view across the other side of the bay. So we're gonna go to the Riverwalk tonight, and maybe we'll be lucky enough to see another dolphin. If you guys were on the stream last night, we got to see some pretty cool dolphins, but it didn't come out that good because it was so dark. And this is the Citigroup building. Hey, fresh start. I did not hear about the Empire State Building. Lane, good to see you. Hey, Dan McLaren says, good evening, Tom. What's up, Dan? Hope you're well. Dan, we were talking about the big problem that's going on in California right now. A lot of the insurance companies are reneging on all of their homeowners insurance policies due to government regulation and wildfires. So Joe and the Juice coffee is pretty good. It's in New York City, good place. Hey, Nikki says, good evening, Tom. What's up, Nikki? Good evening to you as well. Oh, but everybody, speaking of coffee, we have a viewer on the channel, Joey, that actually owns a coffee company. How cool is that? He actually owns his own coffee company. And he actually sent me a lot of coffee to try. So if you want to check my IG, you could check out his coffee business. They're local right there in New York City. So it's always cool to support small local businesses in New York. So if you guys want to check out a very cool local coffee company, check out our pal Joey. Hey, Mona D, good to see you. Marilyn says, Tom, when do you think the market will turn up? I think the market's going to pick up in Q3 and Q4 this year. I think we're going to continue to see multiple compression. I think you're going to see the indices continue to roll over here. And then as earnings come in better than expected, I think you're going to see a lot of these companies, these very high beta growth stocks, grow into their valuations, and in which case we should probably have a pretty strong bull run starting in Q3 or Q4. But I could be wrong, but that's what I'm planning for. Fresh start, I'm not sure how many Dunkin' Donuts are in Miami. I don't have that data. Hey, Ron TV Metro is here, says hi everybody. What's up, Ron? So check out this building. And hopefully when we walk across the bridge tonight, we're gonna be able to see some amazing boats and yachts as well. Hey, Dan McLaren says, insurance expensive for your house in North Miami being a hurricane prone zone? Yeah, it is. It's extremely expensive. And so, Dan, you make a good point, right? So as climate change really starts to sweep across the globe, and if you don't want to call it climate change, you could just consider it increased natural disasters and increased events. So in California, there's a multifaceted problem that's been going on. Number one, the state of California, there's rules and regulations that are put in place where the insurance companies are not allowed to forecast their risk mitigation parameters based on future models for climate change, right? So a lot of the times these big insurance companies will hire geologists, meteorologists, and scientists to help them with forecasting risk parameters based on changing, weather patterns and climate events. But in the state of California, you are not allowed to adjust your insurance premiums based off of future risk models. You're only allowed to base your insurance premiums off of previous losses about 10 years ago or sooner. But the problem is, over the past decade, we've been seeing a major increase in wildfires in California. So these insurance companies all together are saying, look, if you're not going to allow us to issue a policy that is going to be profitable for our business, we're just going to pull out of California. So we've been seeing AIG, a ton of these major insurance companies that cover these multi-million-dollar homes in California. They're just going to renege on the insurance policies. They're not going to renew a lot of these homeowner insurance policies for these multi-million-dollar homes in California that are in wildfire-prone zones. So they're sending out emails proactively right now to a lot of their existing clients, telling them that they're unfortunately not going to be able to renew their policies. So it's a big issue which could leave thousands of homeowners in California without homeowners insurance. Sarah G says, wow. Hey, Deborah S, what is going on? We're at the WJ Marriott Marquis in Miami. Has anybody ever stayed here before? I would assume it's a very fancy upscale hotel, but I've never stayed here. Ron says, so if you get flooded with your house or car, you are just screwed without insurance. Yeah, so the way insurance works, and a lot of people will call insurance a scam and things like that, which I understand. So for example, I live here in Southern Florida, in North Miami Beach. So my insurance premium on my homeowner's insurance is going to be way more expensive than, somebody in rural Ohio, right? Because the risk parameters for destruction of my home is significantly higher than somebody that lives in Ohio, right? Because Florida tends to get hit with hurricanes, with flooding and things like that. So in order for these insurance companies to cover their risk, well, you need to pay a lot more in your insurance premium. But in California, the government is telling these insurance providers, no, you can't raise the price of your insurance every month because due to our state rules and regulations, you are not allowed to forecast your policy increases based upon potential future events, if that makes sense. City National Bank is right here, everybody. This is one of my favorite buildings in Miami. 481 says it's 150 Dunkin' Donuts in Miami, Florida. Robert Stevens II, good to see you, my friend. Out and about, it's good to see you. Yeah, Dan McLaren says another example of overregulation. Sammy Pace says, which zone are you in? So that's a good question, Sammy. So it took me about 5 years to find a home. Yes, that sounds crazy, but it's true. You should never rush to buy a house. And the only reason why I bought this particular piece of property here in Florida is because it is literally the only block in Miami-Dade County that is not in a flood zone. So I'll say that again. This is quite literally the only property. There's about a 4-block radius in Miami-Dade County that is in flood zone X, which means it has never flooded throughout all of the hurricanes in Florida's existence. This is the only, it's probably about like a 2-mile radius, which is actually above sea level, and it has never flooded in all of its history. So the house was great. I could rent it out. It'll cash flow. And to top it off, it's in flood zone X, which means, there has to be like Armageddon for it to flood. So that's really the only reason why I bought that particular property, is due to the zoning. I was looking at a lot of other properties that were in very high flood prone areas. And even if these properties were to cash flow, just the flood risk isn't worth the investment, because I don't want to have to deal with flooding and hurricanes and things like that. Sammy Pace says, Zone X is awesome. Is your home raised? No. So it's built on a concrete slab. It's concrete block construction. But again, if you look, not to give away my, exact coordinates here, but it's literally one of the only, it's like 4 square blocks in Miami that's in Zone X. And I was talking to all of my neighbors that have been there for years, since the 50s. And they said, we have never had a flood even through all the major hurricanes. So I'm like, okay, this is the property. I pulled the trigger and I bought it. So let's go on boat watch tonight. Here we have some cool boats. Hey, Charlie Richardson is here. What's up, Charlie? Good to see you. So sometimes we could see some yachts pulling into the station here. Let's zoom in on this guy. I think that's Sunshine New York and her crew over there. Sunshine, is that you way in the back? I think you're watching the stream on your yacht with your family, I think. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. No invite, but it's all right. It's okay. Lady O says, come aboard, Tom. See me waving. It's a beautiful boat you got there. Hey, Juan Vega's here. Says, hello, Tom. What's going on? Good to see you, Juan. Deborah S., how are you? Charlie Richardson, good to see you. Wow, check out the view from on top of this bridge. Hey, Q-Biz says, hey Tom, if you walk between the Aston Martin building and Epic Hotel, you will get a great view of Miami River also. Maybe we'll do that. So let's go on this side and then we'll walk back over this side and check out the yachts. Sunshine After Rain says, mine is a helicopter. So this is also one of my favorite buildings in Miami, this one right here. Starting to get a rain shower, guys. Good thing I brought the umbrella. You guys see the rain coming down? So this is just in time. So it's starting to rain here in Miami, but luckily we are right next to the W Hotel, where we can walk around and check out some of the cool cars and things like that. Hey, John L says, good evening. One of my kids is a tech sales engineer, works for Nuance. Ah, so a solutions engineer. That's a great job, John L. So at my previous company, when I was a major account executive, I would always work with my solutions engineers, bring them in on deals, really add a lot of value. So that's awesome. So I think these are the two newer models of the Lamborghini trucks, I believe. I think so. So here's the Aston Martin building from up here. Hey Moon FXR, good to see you. Ooh, I think somebody's calling me. It may be important. I may have to end the stream. We'll see. If they call back a third time, I got to run. Because it is going to be a busy day for work tomorrow, so got to prepare. But it's Friday. Can you guys believe it's Friday already? I mean, this week ripped by. I think it probably went by so fast because it was Martin Luther King Day on Monday. So this is the W Hotel here in Miami. Hey, Ken says, good evening, Tom. What is up, Ken? Good to see you. We are here outside the W Hotel. Robert Stevens II says, thank you for the stream. Thank you, Robert, for joining. Let's go under here, under the W Hotel, and we can get out of the rain and check out some of the cars. But I think it's only supposed to be a passing shower tonight. We'll see. You never know. Could get worse. It could get better. Who knows? We'll have to see. Hey, Tortellini, good to see you. Sunshine after rain. I did bring an umbrella, luckily. Ah, Lady O, thank you as well. So this is the parking garage at the W Hotel here in Miami. So if you look at these two pillars on this side, you could really see, oh, where were they? I think they were, oh no, it's over here, I'll show you guys. So it looks like these have faces on them. But there's one in particular that is quite well defined. And I think it's right here. Oh yeah, it is. It's this one right there. You see it? It's this one with the two lights. It looks like eyes. Right there. Hey, Sarah G, good to see you. Penelope, hope everything's going well in Tennessee. So there was actually a tornado that touched down this week in Miami, but it wasn't near me. It was a little bit further north. Moon FXR says they all have faces. Yeah, I mean, they supposedly all have faces, but to me, I can only make them out on some of them. Like this one is pretty obvious. Judy D says looks like part of a totem pole. Same one with this guy. Get a load of this guy right in front of us. He looks pretty good. Warwalker's like looks like you, Tom. So this is the Cipriani here in Miami. Very upscale place. We always come by here on the stream. $481, good to see you. This place is always packed. So I always take, every time we're in New York City, I always take you guys around the one on Wall Street, the one right outside of Grand Central Station. But now we have one right here in Miami. It's always packed, always booming in here. I guess that means things are doing well here in South Florida. The chandelier is really my favorite here. Warwalker says, Tom, go inside, dinner on me. I wish. So this is the Riverwalk here as the rain is coming down a little bit. Scott's like, could we get a table for 299 people? We'll do it. Hey, Carol says, hi, Tom. I love this location. What's up, Carol? You just made it. We just got out of the rain. Falcon Spaces, are you into the NFT craze? I'm not, personally. I think a lot of that sort of activity in the NFT space is in bubble territory. I think a lot of that, the valuation of a lot of that stuff is getting a little bit ahead of itself. But I think long term, you know, I do see the value in verification of digital property. But I think right now, people paying hundreds of millions of dollars for pictures of apes is probably a little bit crazy. But, you know, if there's a buyer and there's a seller, that's a market. We got a market. Hey, Henry Vargas, or Voris, says, looks very nice. Cam Control says, stay safe. COVID is really bad in Dade County. This is Cam Control Cam. I've been fine. Miss Bash says, that's a great date spot. Good to see him. It probably is. Good to see you, Miss Bash. Shot by Scott says, that's what they said about AOL. Yeah, Scott, I mean, so I've been doing this a long time, and I've been, you know, I understand that these market trends. And usually when you have your first market cycle, right? So if you want to think about the 2000 tech wreck, or the big 2000 tech bubble, you know, a lot of these internet companies, every company with a .com at the end of it, everybody thought was going to change the world and be the next biggest thing. But 90% of those companies went to zero, and the NASDAQ corrected 70%. I think that's going to be the same exact thing with NFTs. 90% of this stuff is going to zero. 90% of people are going to lose all their money. And then a new cycle will emerge, and real infrastructure will be built. Real projects will emerge, and the cycle will repeat, and the volatility will contract. And that's what happens when technologies mature. You know, if you look at the historical volatility of technology companies in 2000 and project that forward to now, you know, if you've had an extreme compression in volatility, and that's what happens when earnings expand and things like that. But we got a nice Tesla down here. Gloria Mills says, do you think that gold will have a surge upward in the fourth quarter? So one of the things that's really interesting, and if anybody wants to pull up a chart of GLD, ticker symbol GLD, on a monthly time frame. Now, I'm not a commodities trader by any means, but look at that massive multi-year base that GLD looks like it's going to be breaking out of. It looks like a massive cup and handle pattern. So if we crack the highs on gold, I mean, wild horses couldn't stop me from buying that breakout. Hey, Sabrina Fair says, hello, good to see everybody. What's up, Sabrina Fair? Sarah G says, the white boots are so cute. Shot by Scott says, totally agree. It's a hype bubble, but bubbles nonetheless. Ride it till it pops. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I just don't really understand at this stage a lot of the NFT activity. So if I don't really understand that, I won't make an investment. But I think over time, you know, we'll see. So this is the Riverwalk here in Miami. It's still coming down. The rain is still coming down, all but slowly. Hey, Mac Jack says, hey, Tom from cold DC. What's up, Mac Jack? 481 says it's 17 degrees here in Hempstead. Robert Stevens II says, Tom, you're not alone in that thought of NFT concerns. Zuckerberg's buddy, Gary Vee, just said the same thing. Yeah, I mean, so you got to be careful with Gary Vee. I think he's a great guy. You know, I think he's a good guy. The vast majority of the stuff that comes out of Gary Vee's mouth, I think, is very positive. But, you know, some of the things I think are a little bit questionable. But I'm not going to dump on him too bad. I think Gary Vee gives out a lot of good advice, but there's some things that I'm raising my eyebrows at as of late. Hey, Road Dog 41 says, how come nobody's talking about historic January? Well, let's talk about it, Dog 41. Hey, Emmanuel says, hi, Tom. I love Miami. Good to see you, Emmanuel. I hope you're having a great day. Ken DeRoberts says, hi, Tom. Your thoughts on NVIDIA, where chips are going in the future? So, Ken, I'm bullish on semiconductors. I'm bullish on the entire sector. And I think that there's going to be a big buying opportunity here, probably Q3 and Q4. Because obviously, as I've said many times on the channel, if we look at the historical trends in the market during midterm election cycles, you know, usually equities take a hit in the first 2 quarters, usually. And there was actually a pretty good podcast that came out with Tom Lee. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with Tom Lee, but Tom Lee is the head market strategist at Fundstrat, based right there in New York City. Joshua Lopez says, good to see you, Tom. Good to see you, Joshua Lopez. Steve G says, what's up, Tom, from Arizona? Love Arizona. Arizona has some good golf. Robert Stevens II says, let's freaking go semiconductors. So heavy in them right now. So the only thing that I would advise in the semiconductor space right now is valuations are trading at extreme premiums, right? And that's because the earnings had beat and raise quarters pretty much every single quarter for the past, 2 years in the semiconductor space. Stocks are priced pretty much to perfection. So if you have one earnings miss, you're going to see these things go down 15% after hours. That's one thing to just stay, aware of. But I think over the long term, if we think about all the new innovative technologies that are going to be coming out, they all need to be able to utilize semiconductors. So I'm very bullish on that industry and that space. Jimmy Anderson is here. Says, cheers. What is up, Jimmy? Good to see you. Jimmy Anderson is our pal. Jimmy Anderson actually has a podcast called the Beer and the Bets Podcast. Hey, Juan Carlos says, hi, Tom. Will the market trade up or down tomorrow, or will the market continue to go down? Thanks. Juan, I have absolutely no idea. I don't know if the market's going to go down, up, sideways tomorrow. And I think if I gave you a direct answer, I think that'd be pretty disingenuous on my part. I don't think anybody could say, oh, the market's going to go up tomorrow. The market's going to go down tomorrow. I don't know. I think over this week, I think we're going to end the week lower. NG says, hello, Tom and everybody. What is up, NG? But Juan Carlos, it's good to see you. But look, I think that if we think about the market in general, right, the vast majority of this market, what I like to call under the hood, right? So if you don't just look at the broad-based indices, but if you look at the individual stocks, a lot of these stocks are already in bear markets. A lot of these stocks are down 35%. A lot of the big high beta growth stocks are down 90%, quite literally, 80 or 90% if you think about it, Peloton or something like that. So if we have a rollover in the indices, and I wrote about this in the Behind the Street newsletter, if these indices peel back, 15 to 25%, I think we're going to see life-changing opportunity here within the next year. If indices are able to peel off 20%, that's when we need to look to, really understand which companies on the market right now in a bear market have increasing relative strength, which means these stocks are either going up while all the other stocks are going down, or they're just going down less in the market. Which companies are posting solid earnings? Which companies in an inflationary environment have pricing power? What are the companies that are able to offload those cost increases to consumers, right? Those are the companies we need to be thinking about. So if the indices, the broad-based indices, can give back 20%, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for us to buy a lot of good companies. Wow, check out this view here. Sarah G's beautiful view. Good to see you, Sarah. Wow. This boat looks crazy. I guess you could call this a yacht, right? I guess technically. I'm not sure. Like, what is the parameters of a yacht or not a yacht? Does anybody know? Joshua Lopez says, how was your day, Tom? Thank you for asking. My day was pretty good. Very busy, though. This week has really drained on me a little bit, but, I think there's going to be a lot of good things that come out of it. Hey, NG says, hey, Tom, I know you work in tech sales, but can you touch on your history with Wall Street? I've been following for a few weeks now. Yeah, I think I'm just really interested in the financial markets, right? And working at a technology company and being in tech sales, over the past decade, these are the companies that have really been driving the returns of the market, right? So you think about your big FANG stocks, the vast majority of the returns that have come out of the S&P 500 over the past couple of years have been driven primarily about these big enterprise tech and big enterprise software companies. So that's really where my interest comes in. But in college, there was two career paths I wanted to do. I either wanted to go into investment banking, working in the sales and trading department. But then I sort of drifted off and wanted to go in tech sales. But originally, I was actually going to be an NYPD officer, as strange as that sounds. So you never really know where life is going to take you. But I did have an internship at a hedge fund when I was in college as well, where I was an analyst writing articles. Jamie the Rooster says, can you program, Tom? Yes. My programming skills are not the best, but I can build, basic things in Python. Jimmy Anderson, awesome, man. I'll check it out. I'll check out your podcast for sure. Richie M, good to see you. QBiz says, yep. Tom, that area between the two buildings is nice because you're right next to the cars and the boats with the nice view. Agreed. Hey, Bob says, hi, Tom. The buyer for the most expensive home in Miami's history has been revealed. It was Ken Griffin from Citadel. Oh my gosh. Ken Griffin is buying every single multi-million-dollar home possible. He just bought the 220 Central Park South home, and now he's buying here in Miami. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Hey, Italian Sisters here. This is a beautiful night. What's going on, Italian Sister? We are walking the Riverwalk tonight. I'm just waiting for a boat to come through here. Hey, the Swan is here. What's up, the Swan? Joining us from Ireland. Hope everything is going good in Ireland. Anonymous dude says, Ken Griffin sounds like a party guy. He probably is. Ken Griffin is the CEO and founder of Citadel Securities. And Citadel Securities is what's to be considered as a quantitative shop on Wall Street. And this is the Aston Martin building. So when you think about a Citadel Securities, you could think about a 2 Sigma, jump trading, anything like that. Oh my gosh, guys, this is a manatee. Check that out. Awesome. You see it? Look at him right there. Hopefully it's not too dark. Can you guys see that? Let me know if you can see it on the stream. That was a big manatee. Those are like the size of the ones by my house. Let's see if he comes up again. Hemp Lord says you saw it? Okay. What about anybody else? Or is it too dark? That one was a pretty big guy. Let me see if we see him again. Oh, so supposedly everybody can see it. That's good. Ah, Bob says he's from Daytona Beach. Manatees are my favorite. Well, we saw a dolphin and a manatee. I think he's gone. I don't think he wants to talk to us anymore, but... Yeah, Road Dog says you saw its blowhole. So yeah, I think it's the nose or whatever it's called. Yeah, I think he's gone. But usually they swim in packs. Usually there's like 5 or 10 of them. Hey, Tim says, hi, Tom. Tim from Illinois. New and love the show. Hey, Tim, thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure to have you. Oh, there he is again. There he is, right there. I'm going to bring a flashlight next time so I can show you guys. But he's right here. He's going to come up again. But Tim, thank you for joining. Jack D says, Tom, it's brutally cold in Miami. I mean, it's brutally cold in New York City. Miami is much more fun. Jack, you got to come down to Miami. It is kind of windy here, though, Jack. Lady O is like he's camera shy. Oh man, I really want to see him one more time. Just pop up one more time so we could continue on with the walk. You know, I think the manatees are the most beautiful creatures, but what's unfortunate here in Miami is that a lot of these boats, their propellers hit them and they kill them, which is horrible. Hey, running at altitude says those things are usually 9 to 10 feet long and about 1,000 pounds. So I live right on a river, running at altitude, right in North Miami Beach, and I could see the little ones every morning swimming under the bridge. It's so cool. And I think I have a video on my IG where I posted an entire family of manatees swimming right near my house. If you guys want to check out my IG, you can see the video of all the manatees swimming under the walking bridge. Beautiful sight. And we saw a dolphin yesterday too. Gloria Mills says, bring some sardine snacks. Yeah, I think he's gone. I think we're going to continue walking around. I know I've been saying this for a long time, but I promise you guys, we're gonna do a stream in downtown Miami during the day, and we're gonna be able to see dolphins, manatees, everything. It's gonna be awesome. Lady O says the marine biologists compare the manatees to dogs. Yeah, Jen says I think they're still an endangered species. Hey, Jonathan Zio says hello, Tom. What's up, Jonathan? Hey, Chris is here. What's up, Chris? Hope your foot's feeling better. Chris says, yeah, they call them sea cows. So if you guys are enjoying the live stream tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video. And subscribe if you are new. Could you imagine living at the very top of that building right there? Imagine the view. Hey, Craig Blake says, what EV plays do you think have the most potential? Lucid Rivian. Yeah, so here's one thing about me that's a little bit different, Craig, and that is I will never buy a stock that doesn't have any earnings or sales. And a lot of these big high growth stocks, especially in the EV place or the EV space, they don't have any earnings. So that pretty much counts me out entirely from owning these things. So I usually will always miss the first wave of a major trend, but that's just the parameters that I set. But if you're looking for an EV play, I still think Tesla is the leader in that space. Yeah, Robert Stevens II says, I've got a cute story about the top of the building in Nashville. Want to hear? Absolutely. 100%. L. Goodrich says, manatees are herbivores. They won't eat sardines. Yeah, I don't think I would ever feed anything. I don't want to mess up the wildlife. I think it's illegal, too. I don't want to get banged with a fine or something like that. Hey, Michael says, hey, Tom, would it be okay if I plug my business here? Yeah, plug whatever you want, man, just as long as it's appropriate. The Mighty Bull says, like, subscribe, and share. What's up, Mighty Bull? Jonathan Francis, evening, Tom. Hey, we got Rock Band 5 million here. What's up, Rock Band? So, Rock Band, if you're just joining us, tonight we were talking about we were talking about insurance policies in the single-family housing market that's affecting a lot of California home buyers, especially in areas that are very prone to wildfires. And there was an interesting article in the Wall Street Journal today that was stating that due to California law, a lot of these insurance companies are not able to raise their premiums based off of future forecasting models. They are only allowed to raise their premiums based off of past risks, which, as everybody knows, is kind of ridiculous because over just the past 5 years, you've been seeing increasing amount of wildfires. So to not let an insurance company manage their risk based on future projections, I think is a little bit weird, especially as everybody knows that climate change and things like that is a big risk. So if you look across the water here, this is the very famous Mandarin Oriental Hotel. And there's also one right in the Deutsche Bank building, the former Time Warner Center at Columbus Circle. Hey, Chrissy S. in Iowa says, love the pretty view, Tom. Thank you so much. What is up, Christy? Good to see you. Yeah, Jonathan Francis, nobody is writing these policies. Yeah, well, according to the Wall Street Journal today, a lot of these insurance companies are either going to, number one, renege on a lot of these policies, or they're not going to renew them. So a lot of homeowners are about to get a rude awakening in California, and they could be left with no homeowners insurance at all. So it's a big issue, and this is the same exact issue that we've been seeing here in Southern Florida. You know, no insurance companies want to write a policy where, you know, you have increased risk of either a hurricane or, you know, tsunamis, whatever it may be, whatever particular natural disaster tends to affect your area. You know, insurance companies need to be able to mitigate their risk. Hey, Anonymous Dude is here. Says, I love all the streams. Thank you, Anonymous Dude. I appreciate it very much. We have photos from around New York here. Tortellini says, we have a lot of mountains here in California. Robert Stevens II says, all right, so this was back when I was a contractor working on downtown Nashville high-rises, riding a buck hoist up and down the side of a new construction. We were working on Marriott next to the Music Center, says Robert. Very cool. I think I see Ren 10. Rock Band 5 Million says, Tom, have you ever met one of your viewers on the street? I have, actually. Actually, quite a couple. A couple people have come up and said hi on the stream, which I like. I always like meeting you guys. You guys are awesome. Jack D, you're right. Apologize for the wind noise. We don't have the mic tonight. Road Dog says, I'm from Limbrook. We got a lot of Long Islanders here. Craig says, Tom, have you been to Coconut Grove yet? Not yet. I got to get there, though. This is another beautiful restaurant here. I believe it is... Actually, I don't know. I think this is a Mexican restaurant or Spanish. Because the reason why I say I think it's a Mexican restaurant is because one night we saw a mariachi band outside here. But it's a beautiful restaurant. Hey, Comic-Con Hunter is here. What's up, Comic-Con Hunter? Good to see you. It appears to be, what, some sort of basketball games going on tonight. I know the Miami Heat were playing earlier yesterday. And I think actually the Miami Heat won last night. Hey, Winnipeg Lake Fly says, thanks for the tour, signing in from Wisconsin. Hey, awesome. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. I appreciate you very much. And welcome to the stream, and hopefully you're enjoying Miami. Thank you so much for viewing the stream. We appreciate it, and hopefully we see you on some more streams in the future. So Winnie, thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate it very, very much. Ivory says this also affects the lender, as they will not allow your home to be uninsured. We had the same issues with quake insurance years ago. Ivory, you're 100% bang on accurate with that, because I just went through the same thing with my house in Southern Florida. It's very, very difficult to get insured. You're right. Hey, Joey David, good to see you. This looks like a nice night compared to Toronto. Yeah, Opal says locals can enjoy a great restaurant without as many tourists. You know, I got to go to this restaurant one night. It looks beautiful, but we've never been here before. So let's check out Mary Brickell Village, and then we will call it a night. Now we'll go up these stairs. We never go up this way. Sunshine After Rain says, Tom, take us with you when you go. Sunshine, I would never not take you guys with me. And dinner's on me if I go. I'll make sure I pay for everybody. Hey, Comic-Con Hunter is here. How are you, Comic-Con Hunter? Says, Tom, what was the worst job you ever had and what did you learn from it? I think it was delivering pizzas as well as dishwashing. And what I learned from it is to have more understanding of all types of jobs that people are doing. Not just, I guess it teaches you a lot of patience, right? Because if you work in a restaurant or you're ordering a pizza and your delivery guy's late, well, you never know if he's biking through a crazy snow or a rainstorm and just how much effort goes into that. So just be patient, understand that people are working hard. And these are tough jobs. I mean, talking about brute force labor, delivering pizzas in the snow and the wind and the rain. I'm not saying it's like very challenging, but it's difficult, man. So very humbling. Yeah, what Lady O says, they're very humbling. It's like, and it also taught me that really taught me to save a lot of money, because it really makes you appreciate the value of a dollar. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just busted my back delivering all these pizzas, and I only made, $100 for the night, including my tips and everything. I'm like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. So just to, invest your money, stock it away, and be more understanding. Don't get all upset if your order is, 15 minutes late. Just chill out. Yeah, Cubist is like, you work construction and it was the absolute worst. Yeah, I mean, so here's what I'll tell you a quick story. I used to work right in Midtown Manhattan, and I had a really nice office, and it was, warm, it was heated, air conditioning, everything. We had food, a kitchen, you name it. But I remember always looking out the window and seeing in the rain, the wind, the snow, everything, all of the New York City iron workers quite literally building the city of New York with their bare hands hanging from the side of the skyscraper when the wind is 90 miles an hour, it's snowing, it's raining, and I'm complaining about sitting in my office, sending a couple emails and making a couple cold calls. So it just really puts things into perspective, like, wow, I mean, these guys deserve all the respect in the world. Could you imagine hanging off the side of a building in the city of New York when it's negative 10 degrees out and it's snowing and the wind is whipping like 30 miles an hour? I mean, that's real work. That to me is real work, not what I do. Yeah, Robert Stevens II says construction is hit or miss. Right now, the job I'm in is gravy. Yeah, they definitely do get paid a lot, you're right. Hey, NMB045 says, hey Tom, I'm late. Nice to see you again. What is up, NMB045? So what happened to the skate stream? I took it down because I'm gonna film new footage, and it will be back up pretty soon. But it will be back up pretty soon. The 24/7 skateboard stream. Green Suburban says, what was your college major? So surprisingly, I actually majored in criminal justice with a minor in economics. Hey, Zilch says, Tom, where'd you go to college? I went to John Jay College of Criminal Justice in the City University, New York system. Good to see you, Zilch. The Swan, any updates on Ireland? What's going on in Ireland? So let's walk down this way. We never walked down this way before on the stream, I don't think. Hey, Estelle is joining us from Australia. What is up, Estelle? Hope you're well. How are things in Australia? Hopefully they're opening back up. Oh, you can see the City National Bank building from here. XXX is... This is a nice lobby here. Elon Musk, I'd probably say computer science. Elon Musk is asking, Tom, what college major do you recommend for the most potential? I would probably say computer science, because computer science is pretty broad-based. You could work in investment banking, you could work at a quantitative research shop, or you could work in tech sales or be an engineer. So I think computer science is probably the most broad-based. Hey, Thiago says, Tom, when are you back in New York? Well, unfortunately, I'll be back in New York on Saturday. Assuming that my flight doesn't get canceled. But it's very possible that it does get canceled, because there's been hundreds of flights just this past couple, I think over the last 2 days, that have been getting canceled. So hopefully if mine doesn't get canceled, I'll be safely back in New York. Tortellini says, Tom, how do you like your job? I like it. I'm very thankful to have a job, especially during these times. Because, I think we have to understand, during these times, a lot of people don't have the luxury of working remote. And with restrictions and things like that, it can be a real impact to their life. Does anybody know what kind of car this is? I know it's a Mercedes, but maybe an AMG. Michael says, what do you think about the new cable payments based on neural? It's invasive. I'm not familiar with that. Michael, I've never heard of that. But please feel free to drop some links in the chat, as I would like to read about it. So if you have any links or some text you'd like to share with everybody, please drop it in the chat, because I would love to read it. road dogs is why not an actual race car at that point? So now we are headed towards Brickell, or Mary Brickell Village. I think this car is a Maserati right here, I believe. I guess we'll have a better look in a second. Hey, our pal Andrew Lee is here. What's up, Andrew? Hope you're well, my friend. We're walking in downtown Miami, but we're headed to Mary Brickell Village now. Yeah, XOXX Bob, we were talking about that today. That Ken Griffin just bought another multi-million-dollar property here in southern Florida on Star Island. So if I'm not mistaken, Star Island is where I think Tom Brady has the property there. Is that correct? Or what is the island here in Florida where they have their own police force and everything like that? Is that Indian Creek or Indian Point? I'm not too sure. If there's any Miami natives here, maybe you would know. I think it's Indian Creek or Indian Point or something like that, where they have their own police force, everything. I'm not sure if that is the same thing, but... Hey, Jimmy says a new streamer. Good to see you, Jimmy. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining. Hey, loved one. Hey, I'm back for another walk. Good to see you, loved one. Thank you for joining. So Lee, it is Indian Creek, and Lee would know. Lee is a Miami native. Good to see you, Lee. Hope you had a good Thursday. Anonymous Dude 123. This is Elon Musk. Great handle. That is a good one. Sally says beautiful view, Tom. Andrew Lee is joining us from Queens. What's up, Andrew? Oh, Fisher Island. So Dan McLaren says Fisher Island. Q-Biz says Brickell reminds me of the Buckhead in Atlanta. Carolina says Indian Creek is a small island country club that is beautiful. I grew up there as family members. Carolina Tom, good to see you, my friend. So Carolina Tom, stocks, markets were actually higher today, but then reversed lower. We had the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the NASDAQ, S&P 500 catching a bit in the morning, but then reversing lower. And that is classic bear market behavior. So usually what happens during bull markets is stocks actually gap down on the open and then rally hard into the close. So what we're seeing now is all of these rallies are getting sold, which I think is fine for now. So the NASDAQ is now in correction territory, breaking its 200-day moving average. So I think we're going to continue to sell off here to around 14,100 on the NASDAQ. And then I think in Q2, Q3 and Q4, I think there's going to be some significant buying opportunities here. But I think, we need at least 2 more earnings cycles to roll through. Hey, Sanjeev says, good evening, Tom. Greetings from New York City. Welcome, Sanjeev. It's good to see you. Carolina Tom says, more pain coming, but great opportunity. Yeah, Carolina Tom, I think this is going to allow for a lot of these very frothy, high beta growth stocks to grow into their valuations, right? Because we had another sell-off in the bond market. And so when bonds sell off, yields go up, right? So bonds, there's an inverse correlation there. And I think that the market is pricing in at least 4 Fed rate hikes. I think we're only going to get 2. But that's going to do nothing to fend off inflation. But as we know, as interest rates rise, we start to see multiple compression. So these PE ratios are going to come down, which is normal because a lot of these tech stocks and a lot of these growth stocks, their earnings are predicated in the future. And when interest rates go up, the present value of those future earnings are worth less. But I think as these companies continue to support and report increased sales and earnings growth, I think they're going to see a lot of good opportunities, as Carolina Tom said. Hey, EBITDA's here. What is up, EBITDA? Says, hey Tom, hope all's well. What is your thoughts on the market selling off this week? Yeah, so EBITDA, we were just talking about that a little bit. You know, earnings are rolling through. The bank earnings were actually pretty good, EBITDA, but you know, the number one thing from all of the major investment banking CEOs on Wall Street, they said the number one increased cost this year was compensation, which is great for good news for you, not too good news for shareholders. But the reason why a lot of these big investment banks need to raise the salaries and increase the bonuses for investment banks is because, you know, there's a lot of headhunting going on. So if you're an analyst at Goldman Sachs, chances are you're getting offers from competing investment banks like JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and the like. So in order to retain and attract top talent, you know, these investment banks are going to be dishing out really, really crazy bonuses this year, which I think is great for the investment bankers, but put a little bit of pressure on earnings, but that's all right. EBITDA says Bank of America crushed it. Yeah, most banks got hurt from it. And EBITDA says from expenses, aka salary raises. Yes, you're right. Yeah, EBITDA, they're trying to keep a lot of the investment bankers from, you know, transferring to venture capital, private equity. But I mean, overall, bank earnings were good. But the one thing I would like to note, especially at JP Morgan, they're getting a big boost from their loan losses. They're releasing a lot of those loan losses that were set aside, that thank God that were never materialized from the COVID pandemic. So they're bringing all that revenue back on the balance sheet, because we haven't really been seeing that many defaults, right? Mortgage defaults are relatively at lows, as well as credit card defaults. EBITDA says, I agree with that, but why do you think it's been down 2% over the past 2 days? Well, I think it's just these markets are rolling over here and cracking, because if we look under the hood of the major indices, you know, the vast majority of individualized stocks within these indices are all in bear markets anyway. You know, the vast majority of the strength that come out of these indices have been from the top FANG names, so like the Microsofts, the Apples of the world. So as these things start to roll over, you know, you could really see a big sell-off in this market. But I think we're going to get probably about a 15 to 20% pullback across the board. NASDAQ is already in correction territory, but I think there's opportunity to come. And obviously, judging from the fact that we are in a midterm election year, historically speaking, Q1 and Q2 of any midterm election year, stocks tend to be down or flat for the first half of the year, and it picks up in Q3 and Q4. Road Dogs is the new monetary system is hard to navigate, Tom. XXX says, I love this view. Carolina Tom says, Tom, Netflix earnings today, yeah, they were down big. I think they're down 100 points, right? Hey, Rich is here. What's up, Rich? Good to see you. Yeah, Jonathan Francis, no dirt bikes tonight. EBITDA says, Tom, I'm so happy I rotated into energy about 6 months ago. So EBITDA, we were talking about gold, surprisingly. We really never talk about gold, but if anybody wants to look at something interesting, and I'm going to put it in the next week's Behind the Street newsletter, if you go on tradingview.com and pull up a chart of GLD, So ticker symbol GLD. And pull it up on a monthly chart. Check out that monstrous base. It's a multi-year base. It looks like a multi-year cup and handle. And if gold breaks those highs, I mean, you got to buy that breakout. Only if gold actually breaks the highs, though. You really got to buy that. But not now. Once we crack those highs, I think it's game on. But if gold doesn't crack the highs, it's not a buy for me. Hey, Lou Rodriguez is here. What's up, Lou? Good to see you. Says, hi, Tom. How long will you be in Florida? I love seeing and hearing from you. So, Lou, unfortunately, we're going to have to go back to New York on Saturday. So I will be flying back to New York Saturday. Hey, Fang says, hey, Tom. Good to see you, Fang. So we are overlooking South 7th Street here in South Miami Avenue. Yeah, EBITDA says, Tom, Netflix is down 20% from their high. Is crazy stuff. Yeah, PE compression is well underway. I mean, but just look at some of the hype stocks. Peloton, I think, is down, I think, almost 85% from their all-time high. Ladio says, Tom, why, unfortunately, you'd be in New York City? I'm just not looking forward to the cold, Ladio. I'm not looking forward to the cold. Hey, Ronald says, do you think the tourism industry will be stronger this year? I mean, I think on a relative basis, probably in comparison to last year, probably. But I would never buy any of the airline stocks or any of the cruise lines, in my view. I think that's dead money. Because there's really no innovation there. I mean, I think these things are going to trade at a relatively suppressed PE for an extended period of time. Hey everybody, we have Manny Explores here. What's up, Manny? Fellow streamer, what's up, Manny Explores? NMB 045 says any stock that's essentially many multiples over their earnings are seeing corrections, right? Yeah, I mean, any of the, generally speaking, if you pull up any software as a service stock, right? Any SaaS stock. So these things are trading at, PE ratios of like 200, 300. You're going to see multiple compression. Interest rates are rising. I think that 10-year treasury yield's almost at like 1.92%. A 30-year fixed rate mortgage, I think, is at the highest rate since before the pandemic. And I think that's right around almost 4%. But I think we're going to see opportunity here because earnings season is here. The big investment banks kicked off earnings season this week. Earnings came in pretty good. So I think you're going to see 2 earnings cycles, right? So there's 4 quarters in a year. So Q1, Q2, I think earnings are still going to be good, but stocks are going to sell off on good earnings reports, in my view. In which case, it'll make headway for Q3 and Q4 to sort of buy the dip. But it's important that we just don't aimlessly buy the dip, right? You want to be able to, make sure that stocks are starting to form solid bases and that we look for a follow-through day. Hey, thanks, Tom. How are you liking Miami? I am really liking Miami so far. It's a beautiful city, very warm. Ron Metro TV says, Tom, I think streams like yours are encouraging people to travel. Hey, D Street Media is here. What's up, D Street Media? Good to see you. Thanks, Tom. What are your thoughts on mutual funds? Well, I think the only thing I would say about mutual funds is if you're going to buy one, you got to make sure that anything you're buying, you have to really understand the strategy of whatever portfolio manager you're investing in, right? Because mutual funds, these are managed funds at the end of the day. And I think it's important for people to understand that. And oftentimes mutual funds severely underperform the broader market. So I would look for a particular mutual fund that has consistently outperformed the market over the last 3, 5, and 10 years. And you also want to make sure the expense ratio and the management fees are relatively low. I think anything over 1% is pretty egregious. You know, you could buy a very low cost index fund that tracks the S&P 500 with a 0.03% expense ratio. So I don't really see the point of trying to generate maybe 2 points on alpha or extra points on alpha if you're just going to give it back with management fees. Hey, Ember Glow is his first time here and love the investment information you're giving, plus the beautiful views. Hey, Ember Glow, thank you so much for joining the channel. We go live about 5 days a week. We split our time between New York City and Miami, and we walk around different cities, skateboard around different cities, and talk about Wall Street. So if you enjoy that type of content, feel free to subscribe. Ooh, that guy has a really nice board. Really nice board. And we'll hope to see you on the next stream. So thank you for being here. NNB045 says the mutual fund fees are probably justified by their reduction in volatility. Yeah, so I mean, I think you really need to, like, you could track all of that, right? You know, you could track its beta. So what is the mutual fund's overall beta? So a lot of the times, most mutual funds may even have more volatility than the broad-based index. And I think that's also a misconception about many hedge funds too, because the big talk on the street is, hey, you know, the majority of hedge funds severely underperform the market. Well, you have to sort of define what a hedge fund is. You know, a lot of the times, the vast majority of people who are investing into hedge funds, these are high net worth individuals that have a net worth of 50 to, you know, $500 million. And they're not looking to get rich. They're already rich. What they want to do is they just want to stay rich. You know, they don't want to get caught into a situation like 2008 where, you know, you lose 50% of your net worth overnight. So a hedge fund is exactly what the name says. It uses hedging strategies, so it may not outperform the market every year, but it'll definitely reduce volatility. And if the overall market is down, let's say 50 to 70%, you know, the hedge fund is probably going to be down maybe a fraction of that, right? So you're probably not going to generate a lot of alpha, but you're probably going to stay rich. That's sort of, you know, the vast majority of the hedge funds strategies are. However, you know, there are some quantitative shops on Wall Street like Renaissance Technologies, Citadel, Two Sigma that consistently outperform the market, but that is because they use advanced mathematical algorithms and they have PhDs in physics from like Stanford University, all these very smart people working there. But a hedge fund is mainly to reduce volatility and to protect people's assets. Hey, Larry says, which is the best investment right now in your opinion, Tom? It's always, the best investment is always, learning a new skill or in yourself. And I know it sounds corny, but, maybe you want to take another college class. Maybe you want to learn a new coding language, brush up on your Python, your C++, your Node, your developing skills. Really, whatever industry you're in, I would double down right now on getting really good at your job. That's sort of the advice I would give. Hey, Animal DL says, are those apartment buildings? They are. They are indeed apartment buildings. And this is Lucid Motors. So speaking of EVs, this is a very notable EV company. Sarah G says networking too. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Networking is very important, especially for job opportunities. So I'm not sure which traffic lights are longer, Long Island, New York, or Miami. I think it's probably pretty close. Here we go. Not sure. NMB 045 says hedge funds, though, you need a lot of cash. On the other hand, mutual funds, you could put in as low as $50. Yeah, usually if you want to invest into a hedge fund, you probably need to be an accredited investor. You're probably right. Ribeiro says, hello, Tom from Brazil. Keep up the good work. Welcome, everybody from Brazil. Always good to see our Brazilian viewers. Hey, Fang says, thank you, Tom, for your thoughts on mutual funds. Much appreciated. Thank you, Fang. Hope you're doing well. Roy S. There is an Apple store in here. You are right. I think we've been waiting here for a long time, guys. What do you think? I think I'm just going to cross the street. Hey, for the love of God, good to see you. I'll show you guys the Lucid Motors car, the EV. So I guess I'll ask the chat, what do you guys think? Do you prefer Lucid or do you prefer Tesla? If you could get one for free, would you take this or would you take like a Tesla Model S? What would you take? Ooh, Lady O says Lucid. Okay. Sarah G says Tesla. I think I would take a Tesla, to be honest. I think I would take a Tesla. Hey, Sabir says hello from Russia. What is up, Sabir? Lady O says Tesla. Ooh, Ron Metro TV says Lucid in a heartbeat. Okay. Tanya S says Lucid. Warwalker says in white, please. Warwalker, which one did you say? Oh, Beto said Tesla Model S. Larry says Tesla. Okay, Warwalker says Tesla. So pretty much everybody's saying Tesla. Tanya S says Lucid Motors. Jonathan Friend says Ford F-150. Aren't they coming out with the fully EV Ford F-150? Jonathan? The Swan says Lucid. The Swan, what are you driving over there in Ireland? Sam says 68 Camaro. Cosmo's like, the Swan doesn't fly, he drives. Or the Swan doesn't drive, he flies. Finally, everybody, we get to cross the street. Hey, Road Dogs, this is Tom. Best show on YouTube after Dr. Disrespect. I'm out. Tell your company to send you in the summer for the bods. Good night. Road Dog 41, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Road Dog. Lady O says you're whistling confused. Look at this dog. Did my whistling really confuse your cat, Lady O? That's hilarious, but I feel bad at the same time.
And I probably would have if I was a clump.
Hey, Thiago, this is Tom. Thank you for answering my question. I don't know much English. But from what I could understand, you will come to New York on Saturday if your flight is not canceled. Yeah, he's exactly right. So I will come to New York on Saturday, assuming the flight's not canceled. Thiago. It's always good to see you, Thiago. It's good to talk to you in the chat. Thank you for being here. So these are some pretty cool apartment buildings here in Mary Brickell Village. And supposedly, from talking to a lot of the viewers in the chat that are from Miami, just 5 years ago, this area was completely different. There was really no major buildings, at least. Cosmo Scary says, Tom, is it crazy that to think that your voice is being projected on 400 headphone speakers? That is kind of crazy. That is really crazy. Opal says sharing on Facebook. Thank you. Matt says, what do you like better, Miami or Fort Lauderdale? So in full transparency, I've never been to Fort Lauderdale. So I'm definitely going to have to take a look at Fort Lauderdale very soon. But this is supposedly a pretty famous place here. It's called Moxie's. We always stream outside of it. The Swan says the dog is bringing the owner for a walk. So when I just got my Beagle, I was, I would say, an early teenager when I got my Beagle. My Beagle was nuts. It always had so much energy. And the Beagle would quite literally take me for a walk as opposed to the other way around. And my sister has a Husky. And the Husky quite literally takes me for a walk as opposed to the other way around.
No, it's not red.
Bob says, Tom, all of those buildings were built after 2005. So this is Mary Brickell Village in the heart of Brickell. Animal DL says, I've been to Moxie's in Toronto recently. Very cool. Vinny Castellano's like, keep hitting the like button. Thank you, Vinny Castellano, joining us from Staten Island, New York. I believe this is a very upscale steakhouse, I believe. Have I ever triggered Alexa on my streams? I don't think so. But I did trigger Alexa, I did trigger Siri on one of my conference calls today. I like how they made the side of this building all rainbow colors. Hey, Falcon Spaces, do you think it is possible to get a tech job without a degree? Absolutely. 100%. 100%. You could definitely get a tech job without a degree. It just depends what job that is, and obviously it'll be a little bit harder, but it is possible. It definitely is possible. What kind of job are you looking for? Are you looking for more of a sales job as like an account executive or enterprise account executive? Or are you more along the lines looking at an engineering job or a software engineer? Everybody in Miami has these Lamborghini trucks right here. Animal DL says it's very cool. Good to see you. Zilch is here. What's up, Zilch? Hey, Sophia A says, do you wear glasses, Tom? So I do, but the vast majority of the time I'm wearing contact lenses, but my eyes are so horrible, they're so bad. So I do have to wear glasses, but for the vast majority of time, I just wear contact lenses. Ah, the Swan. Sorry to hear that. The Swan, what is the weather like in Ireland now? Ah, Ron Metro. So this is South Miami Avenue and 10th Street, or South 10th Street, to be exact. Sophia A says, your real name is Thomas. It is. Well, I guess you could say my full name. My full name is Thomas. Sophia A says, you are a very successful person. Good luck on all your projects, Tom. Thank you, Sophia. I wish the same for you. Ooh, this place looks cool. Lady O, what do you think about this place? This place is kind of a cool vibe. This sort of reminds me of... I actually don't know. The Central Park Boathouse a little bit. But a little bit more tropical, I would say. Similar vibe. Hey, Dutchman says, Tom, the Lamborghini truck cost $200,000. Oh my God. All right, well, that's definitely out of the picture. Yeah, Sunshine After Rain says, wow, exotic vibe. Hey, Enzo says, Tom, what about industrial engineer jobs? Yeah, those pay really well. I'm just not too familiar with like industrial engineering. I'm mainly more familiar on the tech side, but so I can't really advise as well as I could advise on like technology sector. So this is a much quieter side of Mary Brickell Village. The Swan says the weather is very good for this time of year, Tom, about 11 to 12 degrees Celsius. It's actually pretty cold, the Swan. So this way is back to the business or the central business district in Miami. Ooh, this place looks pretty cool too. Hey, Matt says it would be cool if Miami had something like Central Park. Dude, that'd be awesome, man. But unfortunately, Central Park is one of a kind. I think that's probably one of my favorite things about New York is Central Park. Hey, I think I see Ibrahim Azam. Ibrahim, long time no see. Good to see you, Ibrahim. Ibrahim is our good friend from California. So Ibrahim, that was one of the topics for the stream tonight. We were talking about insurance companies in California. Very soon they are going to be calling a lot of their clients, telling them that they will not renew their insurance policies on their home insurance. Somebody's asking, what street is this? This is Southwest 10th Street here in Mary Brickell Village. Sophia A, good to see you. Brian is here. Ibrahim Azam says Miami looks good tonight. Ibrahim, hope school's going well for you, dude. Always good to see you. Brian, Desi Guy USA says good evening, everybody. What's up, Desi Guy USA? I guess we'll take a quick walk up to the ramen place. I've yet to try it, but I definitely do have to try it. This restaurant looks very cool. To have a rooftop bar as well. Sarah G says, Tom, it's ramen time. So maybe we'll have to get some ramen, but maybe not on the stream. Hey, Ken Glass is here. What's up, Ken? Says, good evening, Tom. Ooh, check. Buffering. Yeah, it's interesting. I think we came here a couple nights ago on the stream, I think. But actually, we've been doing more along the lines of sunset streams. Jimmy Anderson, it's good to see you. How are you, Jimmy Anderson? Once again, Jimmy Anderson produces the Beer and the Bets podcast. Hey, Walter's World says just so that's good, but I don't drink alcohol, so it's good for me. I guess I won't get ripped off. Hey, Frank Gonzalez says, hi, Tom. Do you see yourself in this hybrid New York City, Miami part-time style living for many years to come? I see you moving 100% to Florida due to warm weather. So no, I'm going to be hybrid 50-50 between Miami and New York City. Mainly due to work reasons. So check this out, everybody. This is the ramen place here in Miami. Walter's World, it's good to see you, my friend. I really got to try this place. It looks really good in there. So in New York City, there's a very similar place. It's called Jin Ramen. Very good place. Wow, guys, check out this view of Brickell. Very cool. Deborah S. says both international tourists and New Yorkers love Southern Florida. Yeah, I really like Southern Florida. I'll definitely be here 50% of the time for sure. I'm just really loving the weather so far though. Jimmy Anderson says Tom has the best views on his YouTube. The one thing about New York is that when it gets too cold out, the battery dies on the phone. Oh, Colorado's playing in hockey. I think they're called the Colorado Avalanche, I believe. Am I right on that, everybody? I think the NHL team is the Colorado Avalanche, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, Mr. Fine Arts. Says Walter's World says everybody loves Southern Florida. Great food, fun people, and the weather ain't bad either. Yeah, I think you're right. And you know, a lot of people criticize Southern Florida because, you know, it could oftentimes get extremely hot and humid during the summer. But I'm a little bit weird. I actually enjoy the heat and the humidity, believe it or not. Hey, we got a Doge, Shiba Inu. We got a Doge on the stream. What's up, Doge? Hey, QBiz says, Tom, this is awesome to be able to live both places and make money. I'm definitely very thankful to be able to work remotely. And the thing is, a lot of the vast majority of my clients, you know, in full transparency, are in New York. So it sort of forces me to travel. Probably more often than I should need to, but, you know, I think it's all right. I don't mind. I still love New York City. I mean, New York City is by far my favorite city of all time. There's no place like New York, but, you know, I think the best two places to be, in my opinion, is probably New York, and then number two is probably Miami. But it's definitely not for everybody. You know, in the summers, it does get quite humid. Anonymous dude. The one negative about Southern Florida is the drivers. I think Florida drivers are way worse than New York, at least in my opinion. Hey, Mr. Fine Arts is my first live stream shout out. Enjoy Miami. Hey, thank you for joining. We appreciate it. We tend to go live 5 days a week. So if you want to join us on the next live stream, feel free to subscribe to the channel. So this is North Italia. Hey, Atomic Skittles says, Tom, Central Florida drivers as well are terrible. Really egregious. Really, really egregious. Hey, Diamond Dave says, the Doge army is here. So I think if I was ever going to get another dog, I think the next dog I would get is a Shiba Inu. I like those very much. Daryl says, Tom, Action Kid agrees with you about the bad drivers in Southern Florida. I mean, these people are crazy, dude. Like, trying to cross the street. I mean, you think New York City's bad. I mean, it's like these people are trying to hit you almost. But the one thing that I'll say about Southern Florida, it's extremely clean. I've never seen a cleaner city than Miami. You know, in New York, you see trash all over the place, heroin needles everywhere. You know, it's really disgusting. Hey, Karina Thompson is here. What is up, Karina? Good to see you. You're right. So NMB 045 says the Bernese Mountain Dogs are also good. I like those too. Hey, Great Walk is here. What's up, Great Walk? Hope you're well. KMC says, where is Morton's down there? Morton Williams? I'm not sure. Ken Glass says, Tom, can you get pizza as good as New York? I don't think so, man. I've actually been afraid to try pizza here, so I haven't even tried it. Hey, Juan Carlos says, Tom, why are you complaining about the weather in New York City? Next week is supposed to be above average. So sarcasm. Look, I mean, I'm just not a big fan of the cold. I did it for many years. Trust me, I did it for many years. Hey, KMC says, have you heard of Garcia on the river? Thanks. So I have not heard of it. Is it a restaurant? If it is, feel free to drop it in the chat. The Swan says, New York City streets are absolutely disgusting. All right, I'll stop dumping on New York City. For transparency, I love New York City. All right, New York City is the greatest city on earth. Every city has its flaws. Every city has its flaws, but I love New York and I love Miami. Lee says, so Morton's is a steakhouse, $17,399, Biscayne Boulevard in Miami. So no, I've never been there. I haven't really been to any fancy restaurants. I've only been to a very few Cuban restaurants here. Hey, Great Walk is here. What is up? Great Walk, good to see you. We are in Mary Brickell Village here in Miami. So Elon Musk, I've never traveled to Europe, unfortunately. But I definitely think I would like to once the, the pandemic hopefully subsides and we're actually allowed to travel overseas. Well, I think many countries were actually allowed to travel overseas, but you need a quarantine. And I can't afford to quarantine for 2 weeks or 3 weeks somewhere. Great Walk says, Tom, I'm on vacation, but tomorrow is my last day. Wow. Well, enjoy the rest of your vacation. This is Capitol Grill Steakhouse is another really nice restaurant in Miami. Yep, there's a Capitol Grill Steakhouse actually in Lower Manhattan as well. Right off of Wall Street. Hey, I am Philly. What's up? Good to see you. So stay in Florida, Tom. Here in upstate New York, it's 2 degrees. Whew. You guys are really not making me excited to go back to New York. But stay warm. Hey, Isabella says, you are in good shape, Tom, walking a few hours each day. We try to do our best. We try to do our best. Sophia A says, people seem to be delightful there. Let's try to make one more lap around here, and then we'll head back to the bus. Hey, Animal DL says, loved your stream near the beach, so cool. Yeah, so we've been trying to do a lot more sunset streams. So if you guys want to see more Miami, Florida streams from South Beach or from Sunny Isles Beach, the sunset, feel free to join us. But everybody, today on Wall Street, we actually had a broad-based rally across the board, but right at around 2 or 3 o'clock, we reversed hard and closed lower across the board in the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and the S&P 500. And this is very, very classic correction slash bear market activity. So just be on the lookout. And if you want to know some of my price targets for the broad-based market, feel free to check out the Behind the Street newsletter. I really think that the NASDAQ, since it's broken its 200-day moving average today in higher than normal volume, we're probably going to correct right around to the 14,100 level, which I think would be a healthy correction overall, because ever since the lows of the 2020 pandemic, this market has been in a screaming uptrend without any stopping. Somebody says, Tom, when does your flight get into New York? So I'm flying out on Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning, but I mean, I'm really keeping my fingers crossed, because every time I open the paper or look at my phone, there's like 200 flights, 300 flights that are canceled. So, hey, Karina Thompson. What's up, Karina Thompson? Good to see you. Emerson says, Tom, come to Brazil. The US dollar is very strong now down here nowadays. Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually going to change. I mean, the US dollar is rolling over here a little bit. Hey, Robert Muhammad is here. Says, good evening, Tom. How's it been going for you? It's been going really good. Hope you're well, Robert Muhammad. Always good to see you on the streams. Yes, Fang. So I didn't quit skateboarding, as Lady O says. We will be bringing back the skateboard very soon on the streams, I can assure you. Oh, we have a Chipotle here. So everybody, this is a chicken on top of the car. Does anybody see the chicken? Or is this a rooster? You guys see that? I think it's called a rooster or a chicken or something.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Hey, I'm sorry. You can read it.
Oh, what is it?
I don't want to be rude, but I got something going on, man.
Oh, sure, yeah.
No.
You want to?
Yeah,
they'll do it. Yeah. So, guys, this is oh, what is it for? Oh, for like music. Music. Nice. Music. Very cool.
You can get a T-shirt.
Oh, I thought it was what do they call it? PETA, like the environmental protection or something. I thought it was that.
I mean, I go to Wynwood and feed the homeless sometimes.
Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah, we're from New York. We just do like a financial live stream. So yeah, they'll check it out and they'll donate. Yeah.
Make sure at the end, so anybody that's got support is
so Venmo, we got Cash App,
Smoke MB.
Yeah, well, they'll check you out, man.
Thank you, man.
Awesome. Have a good day.
Give one shot at him before you go.
Okay. We got another. Are they roosters? They're called?
Roosters.
Oh, very cool. Nice. Yeah, I just moved from New York City to North Miami.
Then show them the shirt for the.
Okay.
That's the page. 46 Sanders.
Oh, so it's a page. Okay, very cool. Nice.
46 Sanders. Follow that page.
They'll follow it, man. You'll see them.
That's right, baby. I had them for a while. Maybe you want to take.
These guys are pretty cool. So you know what's interesting? When I wake up in the morning, sometimes I actually hear roosters. In the morning. All right, so we're gonna head back up to the 3 bus. I guess I could catch the S or the 3. So I think if we walk up South Miami Avenue, back over the bridge, we can get the 3. Hey, Jason FTO is here. What's up, Jason? Good to see you. Hope you're well, Jason FTO. Could we get a quick time check in the chat? I just want to make sure it's not too late. Hey, Diamond Dave says, hey, Tommy, you think we're going to see cryptocurrencies? I don't think it'll completely take over fiat currencies, but I think there's a place for it in the economy for sure. Ah, 10:02, right on time. So this is the Brickell City Center and the KPMG. So you can think about KPMG, Deloitte, Ernst & Young. Photos from around New York says, what kind of gimbal are you using? I'm not sure the exact brand, to be totally honest. I bought it quite some time ago off of Amazon. But let me look and I'll get back to you photos. I'll send it to you in a DM. NMB045 says, Tom, Max Kaiser said it's game over for fiat on the last episode of RT. Yeah, so NMB045, do you listen to the Orange Pill podcast? The Orange Pill podcast is very good as well. Hey, Pablo is here. What's up, Pablo? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good one. Karina Thompson, how are you? Hey, Obama says they talked about FedCoin today on CNBC. Yeah, I think that I'm very convinced within this, not really too short term, but let's say maybe 10 or 20 years, I think the Federal Reserve is going to issue digital currencies. And I think a lot of these currencies will actually have expiration dates. So a pretty interesting supposition to talk about, but I think it's very possible. Hey, Joe Hernandez. What's up, Joe? Joe Hernandez says, I remember when podcasts were radio stations. Yeah, I mean, nowadays, many podcasts are getting more viewership than some mainstream media networks like Fox News and CNN. Which is really crazy because if you think about the production budgets on some of these podcasts, it's literally zero, right? But if you think about all the big anchors on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News, I mean, a lot of these guys are getting paid multi-millions of dollars. And just very small podcasts, one-man, two-man shows, or one-woman, two-woman shows are beating out the ratings on a lot of these podcasts. I mean, on a lot of these mainstream media places. Yeah, Joe Rogan is one of them. Yeah, Bob's like Miami. Finishing up the Roosters dress up. All right, I think we can make a run for it across the street. The bus is in 15 minutes, so I think I'll just make it. I think we'll just make it. Maybe we'll take a shortcut. Hey, the Austin Tennis, our PagerDuty account executive. What is up, Austin Tennis? Hope you're well. The Austin Tennis says, I finally got some accounts to work today, ready to book some meetings. Awesome, dude. Keep us updated. Keep us updated on how you like it. PagerDuty is a publicly traded company under the ticker symbol PD. Jonathan Francis, Tom, do you have the board in your backpack? So we don't, but I was thinking about that. I'm thinking about downsizing the size of the skateboard, so it'll be a little bit more mobile. $600 Brickell. We're going to be coming up to the Bank of America Tower as well as the W Hotel. Ken Glass says, Tom, ever watch Meet Kevin's YouTube channel? So I do. I sometimes frequently watch Meet Kevin. He's gone a little bit off the deep end as of late, but he's a good guy. He's a solid guy overall. I think the vast majority of his advice he gives on real estate is very good. I may not agree with everything he says about the stock market, but in the real estate market, he gives extremely, extremely good advice. So I watch his channel frequently and I enjoy his videos. Hey, Talvish is here. What's up, Talvish? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Hey, Penelope's like, no return of the Wounded Knee. Penelope, I promise you, I guarantee you, we're going to have a return of the Wounded Knee skateboard very soon. So the Swan, I have a question for you. How come you changed your name to Thos from the Swan? Animal DL says a little windy. Yeah, it's really windy tonight and I forgot the microphone, so I apologize, everybody. Hey, 3030 Tom says happy 2.5 hours till Friday. Right back at you. So speaking of the Capitol Grill, here we are. Hey, Bob's is where's the bus stop? It's just over here and then we got to make a right. Ooh, check out the full moon, everybody. Right there. Hey, thanks. Just keep up the great work, Tom. I'm going to bed and I'll see you later. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. Wow, check out that shot with the airplane. Ooh, you can see the Metro mover in the distance. Does anybody remember the stream we did? I think it was in the summer when we were skateboarding over the Williamsburg Bridge. I think that was the craziest stream we've ever done. If you guys could find that stream in my archive of the videos, that stream is crazy, crazy stream. So many wild things happened that night. Okay, we gotta cross. Yes, Sunshine After Rain says yes. Oh my God, Tom. It was a late night. Yeah, I think that stream went on for 4 hours. I think that was the stream we did almost 30 miles on the skateboard that night. We're gonna do it again. Once the weather gets nice, we're gonna do full marathon skating again. It's gonna be finance, skateboard, and chill. No, we'll walk the other way. We never walk this way. Ladios is Tom's building. Hey, Aaron Prill. Good to see you. Kim Grant, is that the one where the guy was following you and yelling at you? Not that one. It wasn't that one. We were just skateboarding around, and we went to Queens and back. And I remember the bridge being so loud, it was crazy. Ooh, check this out. So you're gonna be able to see the Metro mover coming here. Hey, Juan Carlos. No, I mean, I think the public transportation is pretty good in Miami, in my opinion. But then again, I think everybody's opinion is subjective. Because for me, you know, public transportation to some people in New York City is terrible. Some people aren't willing to walk anywhere. They don't want to walk too far of a distance, so they just take Ubers everywhere. But for me, I'm willing to walk 20, 30 miles, and I'm like, hey, public transportation is great. I only had to walk 20 miles to the bus. Okay, maybe not that crazy, but you guys get the point. Bob says the Metro mover goes inside that building. Yes, this is where we need to go. We got the CVS, the Whole Foods. Hey, Lena Sandoval is here. What's up, Lena Sandoval? Hope you're having a great Thursday. So we are coming up on the bus stop, everybody. I really do enjoy everybody, or I really do appreciate everybody enjoying the stream tonight. Thank you for joining. If you enjoyed the stream, feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you so wish. If you want to read a free financial newsletter written by myself, if you type !news in the chat, it'll drop a link to the Behind the Street newsletter that I write myself every single week, where I give my market commentary, so feel free to check that out. So thank you for joining Lady O, Jonathan France, Sunshine After Rain, NG, Francisco GM, good to see you. Aaron Prill, Otto, Vinny Castellano from Staten Island, Emilio J, appreciate you very much. Tanya S, David, thank you. Beijing Charlie, I appreciate you so much. Tortellini, and everybody else, thank you for joining. And the Mighty Bull, have a good night wherever you are, because there is always a bull market somewhere, and you just need to know where to look. And I will see everybody right back here tomorrow, and have a very happy Friday. See you later, everybody.